Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. We are live downtown Las Vegas. Circa Resort Casino is the spot. Fun hour coming up. In 15 minutes, blind resume with a couple of MLB awards. We'll also give you some live numbers on the day baseball card that we have here on a Wednesday. Erin Rynning, Pro Sports Bettor on the NBA. And door number 1, door number 2 coming up a little bit later on as well. How you feeling today? 19-1 Pacers to win the East.
Yep.
That was when they were playing the Bucks.
Yep. Well, I wish I had more on it, but I didn't envision what happened with Boston and the Knicks, though. I still think Indiana could have handled Boston.
They could have beaten them.
They are right, and the issues that the Celtics had. But feeling good, and I think they close it out tomorrow as well. Again, I think this has been the power ratings off, and the numbers have been off.
Points.
The Pacers are a better team. So, yeah, I'm with you. They can't be 2 at home, and then the Knicks are 5 at home.
In every game.
So I think Halliburton's on a mission. I don't think won't repeat what he did last night, but there's so many guys that can score, and then just surround with the depth they have, and you can put 5 shooters on the floor at all times that they're going to beat the Knicks, and the Knicks have a conundrum and a problem, which is when Brunson's out there, he gets in foul trouble, he gets exposed defensively, and he's a good offensive player and a superstar, but how many times does he shoot? Because when he's scoring, the other guys aren't getting involved. So there's not enough of OG, Bridges, and the other guys, and then even though Cat was great in one game, he was benched in game 2. So no depth, and not to mention Indiana's won 6 in a row on the road in the playoffs.
Sure. I will say this, too, from a player prop perspective and predicting like which guys are going to go off on a nightly basis here in this series, and specifically for the Pacers, it has not gone well for me. But that also speaks to how good they are, and to your point, right? Like, it's coming from somebody. Like, Nesmith had the amazing Game 1 comeback where he couldn't miss, and that was so random, but it did happen. Before last night, McConnell was putting up and going over his numbers on a consistent basis.
Yep.
Entering the series, I was high on Matherman, did nothing, so I got off him after losing twice, came out last night, and he was fantastic. So I'm right guy, wrong game. That's not very efficient for winning money on a daily basis when you're betting this stuff, but that tells you that somewhere, somehow, from some guy on that team, maybe multiple guys, it's going to happen on a nightly basis. Don't know which one a lot of times, but it will come through. And that's why, again, like, their depth, I think, has been one of the stories of the playoffs and one of the reasons why they've been a nightmare for a lot of these teams, and why I think they're a pretty good matchup overall for Oklahoma City.
I think they can give them problems, right?
So do I. So do I. And then Brunson did not take a shot in the fourth quarter last night?
That can't be.
As soon as the game ended, people were DMing me. I'm like, is that right? He didn't take a single shot in the fourth quarter? Anyway, I mean, that...
I also think Tibbs is a good coach, but he's doing some weird stuff.
Yeah,
he's just throwing... There's no rhyme or reason to substitutions and who's out there at a given time.
Right.
But the big takeaway is what I read on air before the series started. Their starters are outscored in the playoffs.
Right.
And that just continues what's happening.
You know, Kenny Smith actually, by God almighty, he had a good line the other night when he said that Tom Thibodeau would not play 9 players in a baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
And then since it's been 9, 10 guys, I think he probably has to go back to just saying, well, I mean, we were so successful at playing the same guys like 40-plus minutes every game, probably shrink the bench here a little bit. And only go with what got you here, right? Play like 6, 7 guys and see how that goes.
How about the total? They're going to run with them again.
I don't know what to say.
That Halliburton quote was money.
I know it was.
They are going ludicrous speed, what they're doing so fast. And while they hung around for a while, it's not, you can't play that way. That's what they want you to do.
No. That's not the recipe to beat the Pacers, pal. I mean, come on. This is, again, you don't even play fast. You're one of the slowest teams in the NBA. And that was another loser for me last night, is that I thought that they were going to have to slow it down to win the game. And the Halliburton comments just played out that way. Again, the biggest thing about that was, to me, right away in the game when the Knicks scored a basket, it's the first minute or two of the game, the Pacers came right back, rifled it down the court, and scored in 4 seconds.
Yep.
It's like, okay, it's going to be that kind of a game, I guess, huh? And it was. 43 points in the first quarter to send a message.
Yep. So I know it's been difficult with the props, but for tonight, I have to go right back with Walker. Alexander Walker, 9.5, playing with confidence. It's been awesome the last couple games. And this is a good write-up at vsin.com from our new guy, Dan Karpuk. You can find SGA even money tonight to have the most assists.
Yeah.
He's led OKC in every game, and he's averaging 8.3 assists.
He's also...
So, I mean, that to be even money, that looks good tonight. Would you figure they're going to win the game, and he's going to be a big reason why with the scoring and getting everyone else involved. And you go back and look what he's done every game in this series where he's had 10, 6, 8, and 9. So, and the 6 was, I mean, the blowout. I mean, that was the 143 to 101. I mean, you call it off early. That thing was over. So it was a good write-up and good rationale with his, and he saw $1.15. It's even money now at DraftKings, most assists.
And oh, by the way, those totals of 9, 8, 6, and 10 would have been the most by any player in the game anyway. So it's happened all 4 times already. I can't get over how good SGA was the other night. I mean, that was, if you're going to like put a game up this year of, the MVP mantle, I think that's going to be the game. Got whatever he wanted. And Minnesota's got a good defense, and his adjustments were so good individually and finding the other players as well. Awesome job by that dude. I also think that as a guy who knows what people say about him, and he likes to respond after bad games, right? I think tonight has to be the night for him.
Got to stop with the threes, too. It's 1-7. How about Randall? I was a spectator last game. Too much spectating. I mean, 5 points. Again, what's happened here? Dynamite against the Lakers. Phenomenal against Golden State. 2 no-shows in this series. Right. Like all-time bad. Like goes back to why Knicks fans couldn't stand him. I mean, he's got like 5 points and 6 points and not even attempting shots. So he's 16.5.
Well, I can say this with like some pretty strong conviction that the Minnesota Timberwolves bench will not play tonight like they did in Game 4.
Yeah.
Right? And then when McDaniels is not a bench player, but I can also expand that and say they will not get those same results from DiVincenzo, McDaniels, and Alexander Walker, where they combined to score 64 points.
Yep.
I mean, you have that game from those 3 players, and then Edwards and Randall give you almost nothing on offense.
Yep. It's a tough call. Maybe they probably blow them out. I would say if you want Minnesota to be first half, but if you're going to be sloppy with the ball and your superstar is average and not aggressive and Randall's not giving you anything, again, I can't get over this. At one point in that last game, OKC attempted 23 more shots. I mean, you should have won that game. It should be 2-2. With what you score 126 points at home, and those 3 guys did that. So maybe it's gloomy Gus, and they know it's over. But I do have to look at Naz Reid again. Why at Caesars you can get over 5.5 rebounds, 8, 8, 8, and 6 in the series. Like over 5.5 tonight.
Yep. So I have him 85-1 for most rebounds in the series.
So what do you think Finch does if they're getting blown out? It would be OKC who would take people out. I still think Finch doesn't wave the flag till it's late, considering to be the last game of the year.
I don't think that you can either.
I would say all these guys are still in for Minnesota if they're still getting their asses handed to them.
Yeah. He, especially with the way they bowed out last year.
Yeah.
But there's also this angle, too. I don't think this Minnesota team's going to look the same next year.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah, a lot of guys could be gone.
So with that bet that I have on Reed, he's 1 back of Anthony Edwards for most rebounds.
Really?
I have Reed at 85-1. Ant has 31. Naz Reid has 30.
Oh, wow.
So what I think I need to do tonight is probably play Anthony Edwards' rebound prop over for sure. And there's an angle where I could win both bets, right? I could have Anthony Edwards go over his number tonight, but I could also get like 12 out of Naz Reid potentially.
Where's Rudy?
And they lose the game. He's number 3 overall.
Okay. They've updated the numbers. Ant's even money. Gobert's plus 160. Reed's 5-1. He's 5-1. He's 1 back.
He's 1 back.
Wow.
Oh, they have that up?
They updated.
Do they really?
Yeah, they've updated it.
Give me the numbers again.
Ant's even money. Gobert's plus 160. Naz Reid's 5-1. This is it for the series.
I got Gobert at 28 so far. So he's 2 back of Reid, 3 back of Edwards.
Most threes. Ant's plus 150, DiVincenzo plus 170, Walker's 3-1.
Oh my God!
I wonder what he was.
No kidding.
Alexander Walker. Williams is 8-1. That's updated as well.
I think one of those other 2 guys from Minnesota might take that down. Alexander Walker. DiVincenzo might take 15 threes tonight.
That is definitely in play. If I'm Finch, I'm telling Ant, cut it out. Go to the basket. See if we can get some calls.
Yeah.
Don't settle for threes.
Absolutely
They're
not.
not going in for you.
But DiVincenzo was just, it's almost reckless at times with the threes. But there's also that angle, too, where Minnesota gets open looks. So.
Yeah, because, packing the paint and just giving up and saying, okay, well, if you're taking it away, we're just going to settle for threes. But that's what Finch has to come up with something as well. That's also tough because they were so good defensively in the last game. But now you've seen crazy scores in Minnesota. And OKC's they're 0-6 ATS on the road. They didn't cover that Denver game.
No, they don't. They have not. They have yet to cover a game on the road so far.
That's wild.
Good question by our buddy Will Hill, VSiN host here on X the other day. He said, "Has a team ever won the title without covering on the road a single time throughout the entire playoffs?" I can't imagine that's ever happened.
I know. Me either. Introducing the $500 trifecta from GBank, First Bet, and VSiN. All you need to do is open a GBank Visa Signature credit card. In the first 90 days, deposit and play through $1,000 at First Bet to trigger the $500 try. You get $200 in cash back rewards on your GBank Visa Signature card, and you get the First Bet $100 deposit match. VSiN will complete the try with a free VSiN Pro subscription through August 31st, $200 value. The $500 try from GBank, First Bet, and VSiN. Go to vsin.com/GBank. One-time promotion limited to customers opening a new account in response to this offer. Terms and conditions apply. vsin.com/GBank.
Padres opening up now against Sandy Alcantara and the Marlins. Bottom of the fourth. Padres lead 5-1. Machado at the plate. That's in there. That might score two more.
He owns them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and he's out at the plate, but there's one run across, so I think it's going to be 5-1 now. I believe, anyway. We'll get you that score, and also blind resume with MLB awards. We're going in fresh next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Updating the Major League Baseball scoreboard today. Paul Skeens was a dog today. I get it with the offense. To Zach Gallen and the Diamondbacks.
Well, they're starting to hit, though.
On the road. They are. And currently the 3 spot here in the 6th, and they lead at Arizona by a score of 6-0. Gallen has been yanked, and it looks like he allowed 5 earned runs today. And again, we pointed this out earlier in the show. The second and third time through the order for Gallen has not been friendly to him so far this year. So looking good right now for the Pirates. And Paul Skeens also over 6.5 Ks today. Cha-ching, cash it. That was plus money.
Yep.
He's only at 74 pitches as we speak. So he's turning it on now, man. He's like turning into the guy that we had last couple of starts. And in the other game going on, Sandy Alcantara, again, talking about a guy, second and third time through the order.
Wow. Not
good. Gave up 5 in the 4th. It's 6-2 Padres right now. And Alcantara, 6 earned. I have his outs under. He's at 71 pitches. Let's get him out of the game. 0 Ks today.
So he'd be the first pitcher in Marlins history to lose 8 straight starts. He came in 0-7 with an ERA of 9 and change. Oh, boy.
Here's what one request to sportsbooks, because they will offer ladder props to the positive. I want to be able to ladder props to the negative with K-props. I want to bet Kershaw and Alcantara under 4.5, 3.5, 2.5 in these games. Alcantara was 4.5 today. So we have some blind resume right now for MLB awards, and we'll kick it off with some NL MVP numbers, Pauly. We're going in fresh. We can take a guess, but through 55 games, player A, 42 runs, 60 hits. He's got 13 doubles, 14 home runs, 49 RBI, 16 stolen bases, 121 total bases, and an OPS plus of 139. Well, with the home runs and the stolen base count, my guess has to be PCA.
Okay.
With who we're going there.
All right. Great stats. Unveil. There it is.
And
that is ESPN.com's MVP. They just did the article yesterday out of all these awards. His emergence has made him one of baseball's best stories. But could he put up these elite defense and base running metrics? What a leap from what he's done. He's on pace for a 40-40 season.
You know, he turned down a big contract extension, too, before the year.
Okay, yeah. They got Ohtani right behind him, and then Tatis.
Well, on the odds board, I know, we'll continue this before I give that away, but Ohtani's had a great May. We'll leave it at that. So that's player A. Let's get into player B with 52 games. 13 home runs, 38 runs scored, 28 RBIs, 8 stolen bases, a 138 OPS. Slash line 278, 344, and 512. I don't know who this is. I actually have no clue who that is. Can we put up player B, please? Fernando Tatis, 6-1.
Wow.
His numbers aren't close to PCA.
No. Wow.
Not even in the same ballpark. What are we doing here?
He was in a big funk, too. Broke out of it the last couple nights.
Oh, clearly the guy.
Wow.
Now, here's the question, though. Can PCA do it for a full year?
Yes.
He's done it for 2 months. He needs to do it for 4 more. Oh, my God. His numbers blow Tatis out of the water. Okay, player C here in the National League MVP market. 44 games, 58 hits, 30 runs scored. Not many there. 14 doubles, 9 home runs, 0 stolen bases. He's a lefty, Pauly. 356, 426, 620, a 194 OPS. I know who that is.
Oh, yeah? I don't.
That's Freddie Freeman.
Is it? Oh, you got it.
And 20-1.
Okay. He's on that sick run, what he was doing, hitting almost 500 during that hitting streak and cashing that total base prop on a nightly basis.
Would you want him at 20-1?
No.
I don't think he can overtake Ohtani, can he?
No.
On his own team?
Ohtani is on pace for 58 home runs and 170 runs.
What?
That's what it says.
170 runs scored?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
So 20-1 there on Freeman. Tatis 6-1, PCA 10-1. Last guy here, player D. Looks like he's rounded the bases, by the way, on the silhouette. 18 home runs, 49 hits overall, 41 runs scored, 40 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, 253 average, 166 OPS plus.
Oh, no, that's not. I thought that was Suzuki, right? It's not Suzuki.
That's Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah?
Is who that is.
Bam.
55-1?
Wow.
I'm adding.
Yeah?
At that number, Phillies are a first-place team. I can kind of corner the market here because I have Soto at a bad number now, 20-1, but you know, that's when you got PCA at 120-1 and 71, you can start to add guys. Ohtani is like minus 190 or $2 now to win the MVP because his May has been so awesome.
And Judge is 8,000 at one spot.
Yeah.
How about that? Can't be 8,000.
Something could happen here.
Yeah, I know. There's too much baseball left. You get hurt.
Would you take a field bet right now?
Yes.
You would?
Yes.
All right. I don't know.
It's happened before. He's been hurt before. He gets hurt, it opens a door.
You tell me right now
too much time left.
Yeah, you tell me right now that PCA goes 40-40. I think he can win the whole thing.
Okay.
Here we go. NL Cy Young, 5 wins. Oh, he's 5-5 on the year. 2.82 ERA, 73 innings, 84 strikeouts, a 1.214 WHIP, 13 Ks per 9, a 1.37 ERA plus. He's kind of got the long hair there underneath the hat. He's a right-hander. 5-5 on the year. Any guesses?
Baffled.
Don't know who it is either. Player A here is Logan Webb, 10-1. Those are not great numbers.
No, he just got roughed up the previous start as well.
But I will say again, I brought this up before his last start. I think it was still 10-1. I'm like, it's not worth a bet to me, but the numbers at Fangraphs, their projections year long, like had that guy almost running away with the Cy Young.
ESPN has him 7th.
7th, huh? All right. Hold on to the top 3 here until we're done with this.
Yep.
That's the first guy. I'm not betting him 10-1. This guy's 6-1 with a 2.42, 88 strikeouts, sub 0.9 WHIP, 11.2 Ks per 9, a 170. Is that Zach Wheeler? It is 3-1.
Okay.
He can win it.
They have him 2nd.
They have him number 2.
Yep.
There's no doubt this guy can win it. I've been on Zach Wheeler plenty of times in the past, and he's been so close. If today is August 1st and he's 3-1, I might bet it. Today I'm not going to. But
22 and 2/3 scoreless streak.
Man, he was supposed to go tonight.
He
Game's
was.
been postponed. Pitcher number C. There you go, Mitch. 3-5 on the year. 2.36 with the ERA. That's good. 68 innings, 70 Ks, 0.95 WHIP, 9 Ks per 9, 177 ERA plus, with a 3-5 record. Huh. Is that Yamamoto? Or does he have more than 3? No, he doesn't have
that's
5
on his
losses.
record.
That's Skeens.
You're kidding.
Plus
Wow.
240 entering today. Yeah, Yamamoto's not 3-5. My bad. Well, his numbers are only going to get better after today. I think that we're watching Paul Skeens get into the guy that we were hoping he would be last year, and he was last year.
Did I tell you what they have? Good job, guys.
Yeah, well, they got one more guy here, but sure.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Okay. This guy's 4-2 with a 2.54 ERA, 63 Ks, 0.85 WHIP, 11 plus Ks per 9, and a 1.75 ERA plus.
Senga? Senga unveiled?
Let's see it. Hunter,
No, come on.
12-1.
He is 8th.
Hunter Green's 8th?
Yes.
Okay.
Luzardo, front runner. Wheeler, Skeens, Yamamoto, Senga, Robbie Ray.
Senga's Robbie Ray. Interesting. The NL Cy Young market is absolutely loaded with guys. If Hunter Green can stay healthy, he can win the award. But he's already been hurt once. He just came off the IL.
How about American League? Skubal is 4th. But he's a huge favorite at most
I
books.
can't be 4th. I mean, that's nonsense.
Yeah.
Under what, some sort of model that they have, or people talking about
Yeah.
who they would vote for?
Model and who's the front runner and who are they going to give it to? Yeah. They got Bubic, Fried, Evaldi.
Well, he left the
8 in a
game
row,
yesterday
right? Yeah.
after 2 innings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But 7 straight starts allowing 1 earned run or fewer.
Well, Saturday's going to be telling. Again, Skubal takes on Bubic. Tigers against the Royals. That's a huge game. Last game in the month of May. And that's Skubal's 6th start, by the way, this month. Part of the reason why we bet the Tigers.
Okay.
So I guess the takeaway is here. I don't want to bet 3-1 right now, but Wheeler's numbers look amazing. And in the MVP, I think we're cooking there with PCA is what we're doing.
Damn right.
Okay.
VSiN fans, how would you like to play Circa Survivor or Circa Millions for free? Winner Circle Proxy giving away 1 free entry to each contest, plus full proxy service. You'll be paired with a VSiN host for strategy all season long. Enter now for your chance to win. Just visit winnercircleproxy.com/VSiN, winnercircleproxy.com/VSiN.
Professional sports bettor Erin Rynning joins the program coming up next. We'll get his betting approach for tonight. We'll ask him about projected series prices in the NBA Finals. Should the Thunder be $5 or more against the Pacers? We'll get his thoughts on that coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We'll hit the NBA here. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Good to have you on board here on a Wednesday as we head out to the Progressive guest line. And professional sports bettor Erin Rynning joins the program now. Loves betting on the NBA. ER, good to talk to you again. How are you?
I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
You bet. Pauly and I were talking about this not only today, but throughout the week and going back to like last week as well. We think the numbers here on a day-by-day basis with the Knicks and Pacers are a little funky. Like, after game 1, the loss there, the Knicks, I get it, the zigzag thing. Big game for them, laying 6.5 for a lot of that time before it closed like around 6. And then they go back to Indy, and the Pacers are laying like 1.5, 2. It seems like these teams are much closer than that. Do you agree with that, or do you think the Knicks are the play here in Game 5 as it goes back to the Garden?
That's a very fair sentiment. Obviously, at this point, the market just hasn't given the Pacers enough credit. I don't know what they exactly are here in the postseason, but 10-4 against the spread or what have you. I have to say this: my numbers showed value on the Knicks from really since the playoffs started. I bet them in the series against the Pistons. I did bet them very small in the series against Boston. And I do have a series bet on them here against the Pacers, which obviously doesn't look very good at this standpoint. So, I guess, just from a power ranking standpoint, my numbers showed value in the Knicks. I still think, that Knicks top 3 with Brunson and Towns and Anunoby. I mean, you could even see when Towns brings it, that's a very tough 3 guys to beat, and you always want kind of 3, stars, all-stars in the NBA playoffs. So yeah, my value has been on the Knicks. Obviously, it's now or never. So I did bet the Knicks here in this game here for tomorrow. Again, got a little bit better number last night when the market opened.
What do you think from a total standpoint? And it looks like the Knicks want to run with them, although that was just a crazy game, how high scoring that was. I saw the in-play as high as 248.5.
I haven't done anything with the totals in this series. I was pretty neutral. I always kind of lean to play unders in the NBA playoffs, but didn't feel good about that. And a lot, as you mentioned, Pauly, with the Pacers here. I mean, whether it's Oklahoma or Minnesota or the New York Knicks. Yeah. I mean, you can't allow 130 in a playoff game and expect to win that game. But after the Pacers lost in that in that last not the last game, but the game before that, they just kind of regrouped and said, hey, we want to push the pace as much as possible and get back to ourselves, and that's exactly what they did. So it really doesn't make sense, but in some regard, the Knicks just haven't had a lot of choice as the Pacers have played their game for the most part of the series, and that's obviously what they've been able to do is wear teams down. It looks like, and that's kind of the trouble in this series with the Knicks losing the first two games. It's just a complete disaster because as this series went on, Pacers had the tempo, they had the youth, and the depth to really make it a series here.
Yeah. By the way, for the record, the number is 4.5 now, pretty much at most books. Circa just moved to 4. By the way, ER. They moved back to 4. How about that?
I didn't see. I mean, I think there was definitely concern, and even when I played it on a Towns injury, obviously on the line with you guys, I don't know if the news just came out or what.
Okay. So what do you want to do with the game tonight? I still can't. I mean, Oklahoma City played a great game, but I mean, my God, for Minnesota not to win that game outright in Game 4 is just an all-timer, right? So what do you want to do with the game tonight as it goes back to OKC?
The T-Wolves are extremely frustrating team. They've been this way for, the last couple of years, even going back to last year's playoffs. I mean, they look like dynamite, like obviously an NBA Finals team some nights, and then they just don't have it on other nights. And it's, I call it the Rudy Gobert effect. And then, it just this offense can bog down. And that wasn't the problem. You score 126. And in fact, Minnesota shot 57% in 51%.
Yep.
The last two games against, historically this great Thunder defense. So I guess I'm always in that school. What goes up generally comes down. I think the T-Wolves probably have a very tough time scoring in this game. Again, you have this historic defense. They allow 143, 126. You get that short rest. You got to travel back to Oklahoma City here. So I think Minnesota will have a hard time scoring, which, again, they've certainly shown at times in this series, in this playoffs, 88 points, the first game of the series. So I think it kind of goes back to that. And I think we get the highest total here. But I have a pretty good bet on this one under the total.
When did you jump in on OKC futures, realizing that Cleveland and Boston might be vulnerable here?
Well, that's exactly it, Paul. I mean, you saw Boston down 0-2. Cleveland was in trouble with injuries down in the series, and again, just mathematically, if those two teams were eliminated, the Thunder were going to go on and be a pretty big, series favorite, certainly against Indiana or New York, and I thought they'd be a pretty big favorite here. You see the writing on the wall against Minnesota. With that said, I mean, at that point, we're not out of the woods against Denver. And obviously that went to 7 games. So you had definitely a couple of days there where you could get the Thunder. I think I bought them plus 140, plus 130, plus 120, even maybe some plus 110, 100 in there. I was just kind of buying up as much as possible. And again, the market wasn't super huge because you had injuries with Boston and Cleveland at that point. But again, I thought the Thunder were definitely going to be, if you do that 2-team parlay against Minnesota, against Indiana or New York, you're going to still have a favorite. So I thought that was a good opportunity there. Yeah.
And so what do you make then of the projected numbers? And books are offering this at some spots anyway across the country. If it is Thunder Pacers in the NBA Finals, they've made it like around 520 on Oklahoma City. You have to lay $520 to win 100. Is that in your ballpark there of numbers that you have?
Yeah, like I said, I haven't had the Pacers rated that high. And to be honest, the bench, Nembhard, et cetera, those guys have really come through for that team. Those guys were not really that super highly thought of coming into the playoffs. So, yeah, that's definitely ballpark. I thought it would be kind of probably in between the price you said and kind of what they were against Minnesota as far as being a favorite. But, yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to have kind of a commanding favorite. And it's interesting because, again, you have to give the Pacers a ton of credit. I mean, it's hard to remember a team in the playoffs with just absolutely no fear. And that's the Pacers. Mm-hmm. And it's just worked out so well for them. I mean, if we get that finals, Pacers-Thunder, to me, it's kind of the future of the NBA. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have dynamic guards, defensive pressure, defensive, switching, and kind of this 5-out offense. And, unfortunately, probably for the Pacers, the Thunder are probably just, better or a little bit better in kind of doing that. Obviously, it's crazy with Halliburton and no turnovers last night, but there's no other team that can turn you over more and put pressure on you more than the Thunder. So, I mean, that's just fascinating, the Thunder defense against Halliburton right there as far as turning the ball over. But again, the Thunder are probably just more depth, a little bit deeper, a little bit more athletic, a little bit more skilled than the Pacers. But, yeah, at this point, you can't really discount what the Pacers have been able to do.
Shams said on ESPN this week, get ready for the most unpredictable or the craziest offseason that we've had on record. If that happens, are you going to try to get ahead of it before the news breaks and grab any futures, or do you just really not play futures at all?
Yeah, definitely I don't really get into that. I'm always kind of thankful when the NBA season finally gets over, guys, and need a little bit break from it. I think some of that is probably news bait or news click, whatever you have. But yeah. It's kind of hard to do that now with the new collective bargaining, where you just don't see a lot of player movement. I will say this, as bettors and guys who try to do this for a living, I mean, as much change as possible. Bring it on, because that's what you want, because, I'll take my chances that I can figure it out faster than the betting market can.
Yeah, very good. ER, good to catch up. Good luck tonight, and we'll be in touch down the road. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
There you go. Erin Rynning, professional sports bettor on the Progressive Guest Line. Let me give you this. Killer Sports on X. Their NBA playoff database goes back to 2002. Oklahoma City is the only team to have lost their first 7 playoff road games ATS. The most to start the playoffs by an eventual NBA title team. The 07-08 Celtics, they lost their first 6 games in the playoffs that year, ATS. They were playing games back then that were in the 70s and in the 60s, I think. Yeah. That series against Cleveland?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
For the NBA, it was so much better back then, crowd.
Yeah. They were so good, and then went 7 with Atlanta and 7 with Cleveland. And then I think they took out Detroit in 6 and then had their way. But that was a rough start where they back-to-back Game 7s to start when they were so good in the regular season. All
right, so we have a lot to get into next. A little NFL MVP and T-Wolves to come back and make the NBA Finals, or Stuart Skinner to win the Conn Smythe. Door 1, Door 2 next here on VSiN.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
It's time to play everyone's favorite Follow the Money game. Live from the VSiN studios.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
This is door number 1.
New high score! What does high score mean? New high score, is that bad? What's that mean? Should I break it?
Or door number 2.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Here's Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard.
Hey, Heat, award-winning edition, eclectic mix. Let's go. Door 1. You said it. It's over. You didn't take 50-1. Timberwolves 18-1 to come back and win the series. Door 2, Skinner 50-1. Conn Smythe.
Well, first of all, I don't think either are winning. Let me preface it by saying that. So, but give me Stuart Skinner at 50-1.
Damn right.
Because
there's 19 here. How about that?
19 at Circa, 50-1 elsewhere. So I'll rephrase what I said earlier. I think both things can be true. I think when he was 95-1 still at FanDuel last night, I think if you played the rest of the playoffs out, starting right now, 95 times, Skinner might steal it 2 or 3 times. So 95-1 to me last night was worth it. There's a big difference between 50-1 and 95-1. But I also think the Timberwolves they're not winning this series. The Oilers can certainly win the Stanley Cup, and if they do that, then you have a guy that's going to be the lead goalie here, in theory anyway, who's been on an absolute mission the last 6-7 games, and I'll take my chances with that rather than a team that I think is kind of dead in the water.
I'm with you. Absolutely. Getting hardcore. Number 1, Door 1, colonoscopy. Door 2, Iowa in a college football playoff game. Good graphic, guys.
You ever had a colonoscopy?
No, you did, though, right?
I did.
You had a drink and everything?
Let me just put it this way. For those of you who are our age or in that area where you need to get one at some point, don't mess around, go get one. Would you rather put up with the 2 days that's really bad? It's actually 1 day, that's it, it's the day before.
Okay.
Of the colonoscopy, or would you rather be late to the party finding cancer?
Yeah, okay.
You'd rather have the colonoscopy,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
And so the day of the colonoscopy, again, you get knocked out, you get sedated, you don't even know what's going on. The day before is what you got to put up with, and you got to drink it. It runs through your body. That part kind of stinks. I think Iowa in a playoff game would be kind of intriguing as well. This is a tough one for me. I honestly don't know. But because the offense is so bad, give me the colonoscopy again.
Pat Forty, Sports Illustrated, on the show tomorrow. He's at the meetings with the SEC. The Power 4 conferences want at least 14 playoff teams and likely 16. Big Ten and SEC want to stack the deck. 4 auto bids. If they get that, they're entertaining 3 qualifying games. Top 2 teams in each of the leagues would meet for the title game and get the top 2 bids. The 3rd place team would play the 6th place team, and the 4th place team would play the 5th place team, with the winners getting the other 2 automatic bids. Getting the likes of Iowa in contention for a playoff bid, try to contain your excitement, Forty writes. Last season, Iowa and Illinois finished tied for 5th in the Big Ten at 6-3. If the play-in games had been around last season, both of those teams would have been in action in early December trying to make the field. You would have Oregon, Penn State, Indiana against Iowa, Ohio State against Illinois. You could have had a playoff team that lost to 5-7 Michigan State and 5-7 UCLA. They would have got the auto bid. In the SEC, the first task would have been breaking a 6-way tie between 5 and 3 teams for 4th, 5th, and 6th.
So if you're going to give me Iowa in a playoff game, I want the team from 2 years ago.
Okay.
When the totals were 27.5 for the game.
40. Yeah. He closes, there are Las Vegas casino cocktails less watered down than the playoff would be.
Well, come here. Come to Circa. They don't water them down. Derek Stevens told you that yesterday.
Yeah.
That might be the best door 1 or door 2 I've ever seen.
All right. Door 1. Make that movie, please, about Les Grossman from Tropic Thunder, which was supposed to get done and didn't happen. Or make that movie, please. It's a deep cut. He was in studio for about an hour, and we were new with I didn't know if it was Follow the Money at that time. But guest in studio, Jack Sheehan, Jimmy Chagra.
Can you explain who Jimmy Chagra is to the audience, please?
Jimmy Chagra was the undisputed marijuana kingpin of the Western world. He imported more high-grade ganja than anyone, tons at a time, plane load after plane load. He also was a huge gambler and loved blackjack. At one time, at Caesars, they ran out of money and went to Chagra. Hey, can you help us out? We need a little help here. And Chagra says, sure, no problem. And in 1979, he was scheduled to appear before United States District Judge John Wood, who was nicknamed Maximum John. He hired Woody Harrelson's dad to kill him for $250,000. I can't get enough of this store. Come on, we can't lose with one of these. Got to get one of them.
No, it's. I want the Jimmy Chagra movie made more than any movie that has never been made before. And Jack Sheehan has been on. He came on right away when we were doing weekends here many years ago. He can't come on. He's still trying to pitch it. I can't believe it's never been made, never been sold, whatever the problem is.
Come on.
Here's all you need to know. To piggyback what you said about him at Caesars, they went to him and asked him for money. True story. Jack Sheehan told this when he was talking at the Mob Museum here. I took 1,000 notes that night. It was incredible. When Frank Sinatra had his residency at Caesar's Palace, Jimmy Chagra called them one night and said, I'm bringing my boys to town. I want the Sinatra suite. They said, well, Jimmy, that's going to be a problem. I don't care. Caesar's Palace had to find a new spot for Frank Sinatra to stay.
At the they kicked Sinatra
out of his own suite. That's how big of a player this guy was.
Yeah.
And how big of a deal he was back then.
Oh, that was so fun.
That's the movie that has to be made. Come on, Hollywood. What are we doing here?
And the problem might be with the who doesn't want to get it made. That big name I said earlier. Door number 1, Rounders 2. Door number 2, Edge of Tomorrow 2. I love that movie, and they keep begging Tom Cruise to do another one.
I'm kind of a busy guy.
Yeah, sure.
I'm a little afraid of Rounders 2 just because my anticipation level would be a 10 out of 10. Because part 1 was one of my favorite movies of all time. But I do think with the right people involved, behind the scenes, the writers, the director, whomever else, you got to get both guys back in, by the way. You got to give me Worm and Mike McD. You have to, right?
Yep.
Maybe a little Joey Knish as well.
Oh, yeah. Can have the truck.
But I do think Rounders 2 might be the new Top Gun Maverick. That
True.
came out 36 years later, and they hit a grand slam with that sequel.
All right.
So, yeah, it's
Good
Rounders
call.
2.
Yeah? Door number 1, Navy SEAL. Door number 2, you do your Tom Cruise stunts. I'm doing every stunt. You guys got the picture Mitch sent in?
Well, that's a pretty good one there. He's hanging off the plane. I've done that before, by the way, so it's,
What? Hang on.
That's when I went...
this was said on a podcast, and I agree with it. Cruise has a death wish.
Kind of think so.
He wants to go out there. What are you doing?
Probably. I think he wants to go out that way.
You're putting your life on the line. There's no need to do that. Hanging off the plane. Go climbing the tallest building in the world. Hanging on a rock. What he was doing. Hanging on the side of a plane in... what was that? Ghost Protocol?
Yeah.
Or was that the other one?
That's what separates him from the rest of Hollywood, though, right?
Yeah.
So, but come on, Paul. It'd be a Navy SEAL. If I could do it all over again, it'd be a Navy SEAL.
You guys have that one?
You know how big of a badass you are to be a Navy SEAL? And what kind of shape you have to be in, what kind of discipline you're going to be in, and some of the stories that you have, if you could ever share them?
Yeah.
Although the Tom Cruise stunts are nothing to joke around about, obviously.
He took the picture on the top of that
largest
building in the world, and they said, you don't have to do this, right? And he goes, well, it won't look real. I have to do it.
They said we can put like a platform or something like that up there. He said, no, I don't want that.
What's he doing? You're worth $600 million. One thing goes wrong, it's over, buddy.
He's not a billionaire? I would have guessed billionaire for sure.
I thought it was 600. You put better.
Okay. All right. What would you rather do, by the way, door 1 or door 2 there?
Door 1.
Yeah. I would. Are you saying easier? You're scoffing at the Navy SEALs?
No, I guess you could say the other thing, too, but that's Jesse the Body Ventura.
All right,
we'll go Navy SEAL.
We'll go rapid fire here with 2 NFL door 1, door 2s. Door number 1, Chiefs not to win the AFC West even money. Same price. Door number 2, Buccaneers to win the NFC South even money.
Door 2. I'm not. I have to see it to believe it with Kansas City.
All right.
Come on.
And this is MVP. Door number 1, Saquon Barkley to win the NFL MVP 75-1, or door number 2, same number.
No.
J.J. McCarthy to win the MVP 75-1.
It's not the same number.
It is here at Circa, I believe.
You're kidding.
That's where I looked today and found the numbers.
Based on what happened last year, I got to go door 2.
So do I.
I have to.
Yes, you do.
Barkley can't have a better year.
Well, if he's not going to win it last year, he's not going to win it. And I think there's a chance the Vikings might be a 12-13 win team again this year.
That's right. Yeah. O'Connell, destination coach. Good job.
Now, I wonder if I'm late to the party on this. If anybody knows, was McCarthy ever like 200-1 to win the MVP this year?
Got it.
If he was, I'm going to hate myself for not betting that.
Oh, there it is.
I'll tweet this photo out as well.
This is a real picture?
Yeah, that's evidently that's real, yeah. That was taken when they shot Ghost Protocol.
What's he sitting on?
Like just the top. It's like the needle here that you have at the stratosphere.
Barefoot?
Yeah, that's even to rub it in a little bit more.
Oh my God!
I'm the man. You're not. That's what he's telling the rest of the world.
I love the Matt Damon story when he was on the. So I got the scene plan, and we're going to climb. And I'm going to get the safety guy, and then I get a new safety guy.
27 years ago today, something happened in Major League Baseball that would make people lose their minds today. That's next.